Hello. Sue here from the Unicorn Advisory. I am so excited today because I'm looking at the first of the new features that Kajabi just announced, and I'm going deep and looking at checkouts. I'm going to do a full tutorial of checkouts, start to finish, what's changed, what's different, how you can implement this enhanced checkout builder in your existing checkouts and offers, what you need to know, where some of these settings have moved to, and basically everything about the new checkout builder. I am pretty excited to dive deep. If you are brand new to Kajabi, or maybe even thinking about Kajabi, you're dabbling around the corners, remember at any time, I would love to support you in your Kajabi journey. If you sign up to Kajabi through my affiliate link, I will shower you with bonuses and set up support, as Kajabi do give me a commission, and I just give it on back to you in terms of support. So the link for that is theunicornadvisory.com/Kajabi. But if you are already a Kajabi user, strap in and let's look at the brand new enhanced checkout builder. I am pretty excited to dive into this because I have been testing out the new checkout builder for a while, and it is a major improvement from Kajabi. Previously, we had a checkout block and a text box, and whilst you could do a little bit of custom coding to make it look slightly nicer, that checkout was pretty boring, and Kajabi got a lot of people saying, please let us be able to change the design and make it look better. And not only can you now change the design of your checkout and completely customize it, Kajabi have introduced additional features like being able to put your checkout block straight onto a landing page. So you don't even have to send people to a separate checkout, which is a really fantastic option. You can also have different pricing options within the same checkout now. There's a couple of limitations as it is a brand new feature, so I'll look into that, but I'm going to show you how it all works, how this new Kajabi enhanced checkout works. So if you do have any questions, please let me know and I will make sure to answer them. And if you are joining me on the replay, I will come back and be able to answer them a little bit later. So firstly, offers in Kajabi. If you have an existing Kajabi account, you will probably see something like this. It'll say upgrade to the new checkout experience. Now, if that happens, you will be able to choose whether to upgrade your entire Kajabi offers, like all of your offers at once. If you don't want to do that and you're like, I don't like new things, I like to test it out and see how it goes, you can go into your offers one by one and update them individually. So just note that that is an option to be able to do it individually. You can still set offers up now using the legacy checkout. There's probably one situation where you may want to do that. So I'll go into that. So you can just install those that checkout now, and what that is going to do is not convert anything. It is just going to put the new template there so that you can choose turn it on when you want to. So you can just go, all right, I'm doing it, I'm going to install the checkouts across everything, or you can do it one by one. That is totally up to you. But let's look at creating a brand new offer so you know what that experience is like, because it's slightly different now. Actually just going to increase slightly my screen size so it's a bit easier to read. So just like normal, you will go through and create, I'll do testing, new offers. I'll just pick a random product from the list here to add. This is my test account. And you can, just set this up as you normally would have in the past. You can choose your pricing, again, as you normally would have. Payment plan, subscription, one-time payment, or a free offer if you want to be able to give it to someone for free. And we're just going to make this $100. I only have PayPal set up on my test account, but if you are using Kajabi payments, you'll be able to also set up Apple Pay and Google Pay. Those options will come up. So that's all pretty much the same as it previously was. Now you will have the option to use this enhanced checkout when you create a new checkout, or the legacy checkout. So this is the original 2-column display checkout. The reason that you may want to use the legacy checkout instead of the enhanced checkout, the main reason, I'm going to go through and show you what it looks like. It gives you the option to have people create an account after they pay. So there's been a little bit of contention in the Kajabi community around this. On the new enhanced checkout builder, you are not, you do no longer have the option to get people to create their password before they check out, so that as soon as they press pay, they can go straight into the product, to a thank you page, to the library, etc. There is an account creation page which will come up first. I am really, really hoping that we will be able to update that further, or there will be a slightly nicer process. But if you're like, that is an absolute hard no, I do not want to have that clunky account creation page show up, then using these legacy checkouts is the only way to be able to continue that. So even if you have upgraded and you've moved to a new checkout, you can opt to go back to that legacy checkout to still have that option available. So we are going to add the name in here. We're not going to worry about the custom button, checkout button text at this stage, but I am going to show you, actually no, I will show you now how you'll be able to customize that depending on where your checkout is showing up through Kajabi. The custom text, and we're going to say, I can't remember how much I was charging. So you can add custom text. So I'm going to show you where that is going to show up. And then you've got your service agreement. Again, you will be able to add a custom service agreement as you have before, but it's just in a slightly, the custom service agreement text goes. I'm just going to add that here so that you can see where it comes up once we go into the actual Kajabi. And I'm not sure why that is not saving correctly, but we'll save and finish. Okay, have I done everything? Have I not changed something? Oh, what's going on? Okay, it's worked now. So yeah, so this has now created the offer. This has created it with the legacy version. So you can then update it later to the enhanced version, but right now this has created it in the old way. But even if you have the older legacy checkouts, you will still see some things in different places now within your offer builder. So the details page is pretty much exactly the same as it always has been. The automations are going to look slightly different. I'll cover that in a separate training. The pricing is pretty much the same, but if you want to use that new option with the pricing, where you do have the pricing options within one checkout, you do need to upgrade to that new enhanced checkout builder. So you can do that at any point, but if you do want to do that, just note that that's only available in the enhanced checkout. Now, cross-selling, this used to be just the upsells were available in this part of your offer setup, like your offer settings. Both the order bump and the upsells and downsells are now available. It's now called cross-selling, not just upsell. Previously, you used to actually do it on the edit checkout area, but no longer the case. It's now done within this settings area. So if you do want to add an order bump, and I've got one set up already so you can see what that looks like, you'll need to turn it on here and set everything up from here. So I'm just going to find something that might make sense. Okay, we'll choose this one here. Order bump text. So when you are actually editing the checkout and seeing it on the page, if there's something that you want to change, you will have to come back into these settings, change it, then go back into the checkout. That is something that I hope will get more love, that order bump and also the upsell and downsell page. I know many people have asked for it, and Laura did mention from Kajabi in one of the Facebook group comments that they are looking at that upsell and downsell. So fingers crossed we're going to get the same level of customization to the upsell page, maybe a bit more love on the order bumps, so that, you know, that full customization is going to go right throughout the checkout. I think, you know, Kajabi will like, let's get the checkout done, and then, you know, that's kind of like a second phase. I mean, you probably don't care where it is, but if you are new, if you're already using Kajabi, just know that that has changed. In the settings is where you will see some different settings. And I just wanted to go over this because some of these settings are now going to be able to be populated through using your cart, your checkout in different parts of Kajabi. So previously you had a button that went to a checkout. That was it. Now we've got options like add to cart. We've got pop-up checkouts. We now have this option to actually put the checkout block on a landing page. And when you do that, you will have the option to use the override. So I'm just going to come to where I've got this set up in here. When we'll come to this later, I'll go into more detail. There are options on here to sync to offer settings, and you will also see this on the checkout itself. And what sync to offer settings means is actually using these settings here that you are setting up. So you have the option to have kind of like a base level of settings, and then optionally customize them further if you want to. It may be that you want to have different wording if it's used on a checkout versus on a page. There may be, different images that you want to show, etc. So you can set this custom button text option here. That one we put in the offer creation, but it didn't actually get turned on. So we can have this here, or we can just turn it off and it will be defaulting. We can also add custom fields. This is where you add that now. Previously, that was in the edit checkout. So if you want to add custom fields, this is where you would do that. And this is also where you can change between your legacy checkout, like this, older builder that we've got set up on this offer, and the brand new one. Or if you have multiple templates, you will be able to do that. So I'm going to show you how you can update. This is also now where the service agreement lives. So previously the service agreement again lived in that edit checkout in one of the settings areas on that, but now this is here. So if you do want to change that, you'll just have to come to your settings. All of the rest of this is exactly as it was in the past. So I'm not going to go too deep on this. I have got other tutorials about gift offers. Notifications is pretty much stock standard, and affiliate commissions, you can turn that on here or in the affiliate area. And I'm also going to talk more about affiliates. So let's just say you have your checkout. So I'm just going to save this so we can see. So this was set up using the legacy checkout. Actually, I've got one that I prepared earlier. So this is the legacy checkout. So if we want to one by one update offers, or if you don't choose to upgrade all the old ones and you only do it for new ones, we can click here onto try it out, or we can do it from within that customized template area. So when we want to try it out, it is going to try it out on this specific offer. So it's going to install the new theme, and we can then choose to activate it if we want to, because now this is what's going to happen. It's not going to override whatever you had set up before. So, if you're like me, I think I have something like 500 offers. Probably not going to be quite that crazy, because I do make a lot of offers and test a lot of stuff out, and we have lots of templates. And, if you have, 50 or even 100 offers, you're like, oh, I don't want anything to be done without me seeing it first. So this is going to stay as it was. And then this is the new checkout that has now been added. So Kajabi have now added this simple checkout. You can also add new templates by browsing templates in here. So maybe you might want to do this course product template. So you can add that and you can see what the different templates look like. Now, what this is going to do is make a template that you can interchange, turn one off, turn the other one on, like switch between the templates. So if you change to one of these and you don't like it and you want to put it back to legacy, you can easily do that. So what we might do is customize this course product checkout first and go into it and take a look at it and then activate it. So currently it's still active on the live, but we're going to go in and do a bit of customization. So within this checkout here, we've now got this one set up. Now, actually, this is a bad one. I think I've got one down here. I think I have this one done as a better option. I'm gonna change because I think I set this one up better. Okay, I'm going to come back to that. I got ahead of myself and I already had something pre-done, which will make it a little bit easier. And now I've gone and done a brand new one. So I'm going to come back here and we are going to come into the settings so that we can edit. And this is where I have got some checkouts already added. So this is one where I've already customized it a little bit. This is that legacy one, that original one that will enable you to have the option for people to create their account and add the password at the time. And this is one that I was just playing around with, which is the course product checkout. So I'll show you these couple of options. So this is very basic. It is the simple checkout. It's just some text with the actual course block, and I've manually added in the course outline. So this is just an image that I've pulled in. This is pulling the image from actually, no, sorry. This one is a manual image because I have chosen not to sync to the offer settings because the offer itself didn't have an image and I didn't want to sync to it. I wanted to choose my own image because by default, sometimes you may find this image here and this image is pulled from your offer and you kind of have two of the same images next to each other. So if you sync to offer settings, that is where it is going to pull those offer details. I don't have an image. If I did, that specific offer image is what's going to show up here. Some of those other settings, if we uncheck that, you'll be able to see what they are. The button color and the button text override. That we are choosing to set this on this checkout, not to pull it from the offer. And that's all completely optional. With what you do, there may be situations where you want to use a different image here as opposed to the image that you're using for the offer. You may just want to have the same image. You may want to have none. This is where it's all a lot more customizable compared to what it was before. We've also got the option here to change this this price text override. So we can come in here and change the price text override. If we don't, it's going to default to just the actual price. Previously, this was done in the pricing, but now it's done on the page, which is one change I'm very grateful for because it was very hard to figure out where to do it before. So by default, it is just going to show the price and it's going to show the name of the offer. But we can override that and you could put, some different text that's going to show up there rather than that default price text. I actually think it's a lot nicer now than it was before because it's actually putting the title of the offer at the top. And that was one of the reasons why I used to use this override text a lot in the past. And I may be less tempted to now, but just know that that's where that setting is and you can turn that on or off. Now, this particular offer is one with two pricing options. So it's going to show both of the pricing options. And when someone is looking at it, they will be able to check on which price that they want. All of this other information are those settings that are pulled from your actual offers, from the settings in your offer itself. Oops, hang on. Sorry, I've got too many tabs open. Oh, okay, I'm going to come back finally. So that's these settings here, like the name, the custom fields, etc. They are going to be pulled from where you've got that set up. This is that order bump that I was talking about, where I have added the order bump in, and that is now showing up here. So if you do want to edit those things, then you can just click onto edit the checkout settings, and that is going to take you back to those settings. So click onto edit the settings, and that's going to take you to that offer, back into it, where you can then go and make those customizations if you want to. You can go into the cross-selling from there. You can go and add the custom fields, etc. So this is going to be where that order bump is going to show up. You can turn that on or off, change the wording, etc. And then with the order bump, where are we? Oh my gosh, sorry, I have too many tabs open. Oh my. Okay. Back here, back to this one. And yeah, so this particular order bump is this information here. This read more is going to show up if you have more text, and then people will be able to add it. We're not able to change the button text, and it is going to pull the pricing directly from the actual order bump offer itself. So if you wanted to change the name of what shows up here and the price, you would do that in the offer that you are linking to as an order bump. It's then going to have a summary that's going to show up. So if someone does add the order bump will show up in the summary. We'll preview that so you can see what it looks like. And we can now see when it comes up. So if we add this in, that is now going to show up here. So we'll have the summary of the course and the order bump and then the total due now. I'm really happy to see this USD or AUD or whatever the pricing is now showing up automatically on the checkout. I used to make it a point to really ensure to put that specific dollar, differentiator on every checkout and on every offer. It's often what I used to use this price text override field for, but now it will show up based on your currency, which is a really nice change. So as well, in terms of the actual settings of the checkout itself, basically your builder has now got some sections. You can have a hero section that may get added in. I have turned it off in this case. If you have an existing legacy checkout, it is going to pull some of the settings from that legacy checkout. If you're starting from scratch, it's going to give you some potentially nicer options. With the checkout block itself, so this is this whole entire section here. So it's the checkout form and it's the checkout information that is showing. When you go to do things like, the background for this, just bear in mind it's doing it for this entire section. It's not the background of the actual, this white part of the checkout form. It's the entire section. But again, you will be able to make some changes in here. You can choose whether you want the checkout block on the top on mobile view, and whether you want the checkout block on the left or the right on desktop view. So that is optional. You'll be able to change that. In some situations, you may want, depending on how much information that you have here, to have that checkout block on the top versus having the information first. If you're using your checkout page as a sales page, I would recommend to not have that turned on. If this is just a checkout, then maybe you want to have it so that the checkout information is the first thing that is presented, because if it is on mobile view, it is going to stack rather than put things next to each other. In this checkout section, you also have the option to add additional blocks. So in this case, we have a block here that is an image and a block that is a text. So in your checkout section, you want to look for the blocks for how to change things. So if by default this image here is being pulled from your offer, you can change the image, and you can upload a new image, select a recent image, etc., and choose how wide that is across the page. You can choose an action for the image if you want to. I'm not sure on a checkout that you would want to, though, because once they get to the checkout, you want to remove distractions and the ability to click away. But everything basically that you can do on a landing page, you can now do on a checkout page. So this is where you could add some text. So this is just a text box, but you can add any other any other block that you like to this from the available block options, which is all these basic content. So to give you an idea, this is a checkout that we have built, where we built it as a full landing page. I got a little bit excited when we first got access to the checkout builder. It's like, whoa, we can do it as a landing page. This is like full, complete control. So this is the bottom of the landing page. And what we've done in here is just add a feature block to the top, so that we can put a little image in here with some text, and then underneath that have a actual pricing box, but not using the pricing, like leaving all the information free, so that we can have this kind of separate sort of two-part copy next to the actual checkout section itself. Now with the checkout block width, this is applied to this checkout section. You can have that up to 8 columns wide. So you can have that, fairly wide, which is going to change the look of it a little bit, or down to 5 columns and have, just a sort of skinnier one. So you can play around with it a bit so it matches up with the content that you've got next to it. This one is where we've put the checkout box at the bottom of a landing page, but this is a checkout. So if you've ever used Kajabi checkouts before, you might be like, are you serious? Like you can do, pretty much anything. It's, we've replicated the landing page for, the sales page and brought this into, the checkout builder. So this whole thing is built as you would just build a normal landing page. You can add any section that you want. You can even add a 2-step opt-in. You can go into the header. You can add an announcement bar, pretty much anything that you would normally do. Honestly, I think though, when this first came out and we built this kind of landing page within a checkout, the functionality to put a checkout block onto a landing page wasn't yet there. And I would personally build a landing page and put a checkout box on it, because then you don't have the issue of the URL. Now, let me show you what I mean. When you preview a checkout, or when you give the link out to a checkout, it's always sort of doing this, this format where it's giving you an unchangeable URL. You can't adjust that. Whereas when it is on a landing page, you are able to set the URL for that page, which means you're also able to easily redirect it and other things. So personally, for me, I will be opting for, checkout blocks on a landing page if I want to do something like this. But it is fantastic to know that there is the option to do pretty much anything that you want. One of the really, really cool things that Kajabi have added, is this course block. So you can now add a course block to a page. And what that means is it will, by default, I'm going to show you how this will work in a sec, pull in the course that you've connected to the offer and put this this section. You can also now add these course outline pages to landing pages as well, but you can choose which course it's going to pull. And you can actually go and edit courses if you want to, but the course that you've attached, the first course that you've attached, is the one that's going to show up. So if you're selling an offer that has multiple products, it may be less less useful. But if you are selling a program that has one main course product, then this is fantastic. You can display all content. You can exclude draft content, and you can choose whether you want for everything to be expanded or none to be expanded. If you want none to be expanded, it's just going to have this accordion style, or you can have it so the first module is expanded. So it makes it a little bit more obvious that, there are different things. So this is obviously a draft course, but if you've got an actual course content, it is going to pull it through. I do hope that maybe thumbnails and things like that may be part of it in future. And at this point in time, we can't sort of click into lessons and things like that. It's just pulling that summary. But if you have that created, it's a really great way to show the outline of your course and for people to get a really good sense of the modules and lessons that are included. You can optionally show the lesson count, and that again is something where it doesn't even necessarily, when I say the word course, it can also be used for memberships if you're using course as your curriculum hub. The word course, I would say probably would be great if they replace it with curriculum, because sometimes you may use curriculum as part of a membership and maybe not a specific linear course. But again, if you're putting things into modules, then you will be able to use this format. You can go through and customize this and change it, change your, the layout, background colors, heading fonts, body fonts, the border color, all of that kind of stuff. And you can also change backgrounds, layouts, all of that is possible. It's just a regular block in Kajabi. But yeah, that is one of the things that's now available to add onto a checkout page. When you do have a checkout page, I think I would be more likely to use a block like this on a landing page and then have the checkout as the last thing that someone sees. But if you are creating a super quick checkout where you just want to let people know what's available and you want that checkout up, because you have to create the checkout or you have to create the offer to be able to sell it at all. So if you're wanting to, do a quick, all right, I want to start selling this in an hour, and you've already created the course outline, this can be a really great way to build that, because it's a simple and quick ad that you can do onto that course page. And there are actually themes that will allow you to do it. So this one is bringing in a course. This is the actual course template that we added onto this offer before. And I'm going to just choose a random, what can I choose? I'll choose, hang on, I'll choose this one because I've got this one somewhere else. So this is going to bring in that the course settings is not the best option. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, great. All right, it is an option. And because this one has an image in the settings, it's going to bring in an image for us. So it's a really great way to very quickly build out an offer, and it's going to show this. And this is all part of the checkout version of the template that you can add in. And you can add some testimonials really easily. And this is a really quick way to make your checkout look good very fast. Now, if you did not want the graphics to show from your actual course, you can uncheck course settings and you can choose your own image here. So do note that similar to how we are doing the settings, turning them on and off from the actual offer itself, you can do the same thing from the course. So yeah, it's a really nice way to build that quickly. And you can add that course outline block into this checkout section. So you can add it underneath, or you can add it right into the checkout section, which is going to make a very quick landing page / sales page checkout all in one if you want to get something out fast. So that is some of the new changes to the actual checkout. Like I said, it's kind of an unlimited canvas and template now. I believe that Penny in Your Pocket has already released her new templates for checkouts. We will have some templates for the checkouts that are going to go and match our templates that we sell. So if you have purchased, for example, Little Picasso or Soraya, then there will be checkouts coming for those. And the great thing as well, one of the things that I do love very much, let's just say you have got your, oops, I'm not going here, sorry, we're going to settings. No, we're going to do it. Sorry, I've too many tabs. Where's my office settings? One day I'll get to it. Okay, so we've got the settings here for our offer, and we have the legacy checkout, the enhanced checkout set up. So we've got our template customized. Say we really like this template and this layout. We've gone and changed the colors, changed the fonts, made it look exactly how we want it to. You can actually export that template as a zip file and then re-import it to your other offers so that you can keep that consistency. It is going to bring the actual content in terms of the text. So you may need to, update the actual text itself, but having that option where you don't have to make the change individually, because that is one of the challenges, is that when you add that, the new template, when you upgrade it from legacy into the simple checkout, that automated update, it's going to pull some of the things that you've done, but you will still probably want to customize it further and make it a little nicer. So being able to do one, get it how you want, export that, and then import that. So if you want to add a new template that you've done like that, you just export it from one offer and then you can upload it to another. Now, uploading it, similar to how the product templates work, it's just going to add it in. So it's not going to override anything that you've already got in there. It's going to add it in. And let's say that we have gone through this course product checkout. We're really, really happy with it, and that's the one that we want to use. We can just activate it, and that will now be the live template. And if something is on there and you want to go back to the old version, then you can just change and go back to the older template. So we're like, yep, we're happy with this. Activate. And this will now be the live template. Now, something that might be handy for you to use that for, that particular feature as well, is let's just say that you are doing a launch of some kind and there is a change to bonuses, or there's an early bird bonus or something like that, and you want the checkout to reflect that. You can pre-make an alternate version of the checkout in advance that's different to the one that you are showing. Maybe the price is the same, but there's some features or bonuses or something like that that are changing. So you can have it ready to go. And then as soon as that changeover point happens, you can just activate the new version of the checkout. So that might be something that is helpful or interesting. Maybe you've got an early bird and then you are changing and you're updating the pricing rather than changing to a whole separate offer. Just know that that is an option as well. Now, one thing to be bearing in mind, if you are using the pricing, the pricing options that are set up, I'm pretty sure I've got this one here. At the moment, you are not able to change, the price text override on the pricing options. The pricing options you will be able to do it at some point, but right now what you see here is what's going to show up on the checkout. So you're not able to really do a lot in terms of how they display. You can change the payment type and you can change the amount. The other thing that is hopefully going to be coming soon, which is not available yet, is automations are set at the offer level. So the automation is going to trigger no matter whether someone does a one-time payment or a two-time payment, if they have monthly or annual. The same automations are going to trigger. So there's probably some situations where maybe you want something different to happen for annual versus monthly. Maybe your annual members get an extra course, they get put into a different email sequence. There's a whole lot of situations. They may be tagged differently. That is not currently available. So if you need any of that kind of functionality where there's some sort of difference in the offer, it's not just that the price is different, then you will still need to continue using two offers and using that custom code option that we've used up until now. If you want the details for that, let me know and I can link you. Jody Pibor gave some fantastic code to the Kajabi community a few years back. So you will be able to continue using that custom code, but you may not, you may want to do that if there is tagging or some sort of email automation, if the products that are included in monthly versus annual is different, anything like that. You may want to stick with it until that update comes through. Hopefully, Kajabi have said that they are aware of it. It's something that they're working on, and as soon as that is available, of course, I will let you know. So that is one of the things with pricing options, just to be aware of. All right, so I just wanted as well to look at how this would, the checkout block going onto a landing page, because that is now an option. If you do not see the checkout available, I'm just going to save this and show you this checkout block available on your landing pages. You may need to update your pages to the current theme. So all pages went out for update around a weekish ago. So if you see the word update, then you will want to update the page so that it is like using the latest version of the builder so that you can add that additional block. Do bear in mind, if you have purchased a template from a third-party provider, do check with them, especially if they've said, please don't update because, we have a special process. Just check with them before updating the page so that you don't break it. And that third-party provider may give you some additional instructions. So once you have updated it, then you will have the option to add it to the page. Now, you can't add the checkout and the course as a block. You actually have to add it as its own section and then add other blocks to the section afterwards. So you can't sort of go to a section and just add a checkout block. You actually have to add an entire checkout section. I've already added one, but you would just come down here and click on checkout and or course outline. I'm going to show you both, but checkout will then add that block to the page. Since I have already added it, I'm going to come in here and show you some of the things in the settings so that you are aware. So when you add the checkout block to the page, you've got choices of how many columns wide it is. If you make it, I think 7 or 8 columns wide, it's going to show in this format, like a sort of side-by-side format. Obviously, if it's on mobile, it's going to end up going long. But if you make it 6 columns wide and you have another block onto the page, it is then going to, I'm just going to add this in so that you can see what I mean. It's going to then change the formatting of it so it goes long. In that case, you may want to sort of plan your additional content that you're going to add into these blocks to match the length of it if it is going to be on a landing page, so it is a side-by-side. So you can add anything that you want, any blocks in here. You could add images, videos, any of those normal sort of Kajabi landing page blocks you can add into this section here. Do bear in mind, even with these, if you change the width of them, if you change this checkout width, it's going to automatically adjust the width of these. There is no option to have it on a separate row. Again, within this this course here, this is this sync to offer settings that I was talking about before. So if you have the sync to offer settings turned on, it's going to pull everything from the offer itself. So that may work in some cases. That's usually going to be the default. But if you turn it off, that's going to allow you to then change the text of this price override, or you can leave it as its original. You can then change the image that's going to show up here in this offer thumbnail area. That's probably the biggest reason that I think that people won't sync to the offer settings, depending on what image that you have got set within the offer itself. After the offer settings, you've also got options just to choose the styling of the block. It will always have a white background. Have not yet found a way to change that, which hopefully. This button text override is not showing up in my test account because I only have PayPal, so PayPal's always going to show up like that. But when you have payment options, this is the option for you to choose the wording that appears. Now, maybe if you've already got that set into your offer settings, the wording may show up differently, but this just allows you to choose on this landing page, use this specific text. And the rest of the things on this page are pretty similar. You can, again, choose this checkout block on the top. So I think this is why it's set to, an entire section where the blocks are sort of being forced into the section, because these settings here are different to a normal section on a landing page. So this is where, you're choosing using, do you want the mobile to go first, like the pricing block to go first, or the information to go first on mobile view? So in this case, we are putting this information, like the blocks are going to go first, then the pricing. And then if you change that around, then it's going to put the pricing block at the top of the section. And then on desktop view, this is the checkout block on the right or the checkout block on the left. So if you have it turned on, it's going to be on the right-hand side. And if you have that turned off, it's going to display on the left-hand side. So again, personal preference. You don't even have to have additional blocks on here. You can hide them, and it will just show up with this sort of, side-by-side version of the checkout. It is going to show this the order bump on here as well. So that's set at the offer settings, and the payment plan options are also being brought through from the offer settings. So that is it. That is Kajabi's new enhanced checkout. I hope this has helped answer some questions. And of course, if you do have any other questions, please do let me know in the comments. And if you want more help with Kajabi, I do run a Kajabi support membership called Kajabi 101 Quick Start. And I have a monthly Q&A. We're going to be having a few extra Q&As over the next few months for lots of questions around these new features and some workshops as well. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I need to know more about Kajabi, I need to learn all of these things, I've got questions, then please do feel free to join me. It's an incredible bargain. It's $199 for an entire year. I'll put the link to that below if that is something that interests you. But yeah, this is the new enhanced checkout. It's pretty awesome. I love the changes, and hopefully there's going to be a few, more additions coming. Fingers crossed for upsells and order bumps to get them enhanced as well. And I will keep you up to date with any new features and new changes that do come to this checkout. But it's a breath of fresh air. If you have used Kajabi's checkout builder before, then maybe you have found it incredibly restrictive, and now you're like, finally, I can use it in ways that I want. And maybe it's an opportunity for you to look at where your checkouts are. Maybe in the past you've used a third-party system just because you didn't have that control over what Kajabi's checkouts looked like, and you found it really frustrating. Maybe this will give you the option to play around with doing some of those things inside Kajabi and not having to have extra integrations. But yes, I look forward to hearing what you think about it, and what you are going to do with it. Do bear in mind as well, if you are going to add your checkouts to your landing page, you don't actually have to design the checkout. So putting it onto a landing page, when you're actually in the checkout itself, we're going to come back here. This is if this whole design of this checkout page is if you are going to have a button that says buy now and it sends people to the checkout. If you want people to just check out straight away and you have it on a landing page, or you're using a pop-up checkout, you don't even need to design it. You don't even need this, new enhanced builder, because all of the things that have been done in the background to enable that to happen are now available in other areas of Kajabi. So that is pretty exciting. It might save you some work if you're like, oh, I could just put the block on the page and I don't need to even redesign anything. Yes, totally possible, which is why I wanted to show you that. So there's a few places where that checkout block is available through Kajabi, and it might just save you a heap of time, because you can just, design just that one section on a page rather than an entire checkout, because you've already got sales page. We love options very much. So I'm going to love you and leave you for now. This has been so much fun talking about checkouts. Please do join me over the next month. I'm going to be doing a heap of tutorials and deep dives into these new features that Kajabi have just launched. I want to help you make the most of Kajabi. So I shall see you in the next video. Sue from the Unicorn Advisory. Bye for now.